The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, February 16th, 2024, and I'm your host, Scott. And of course, you know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, you can follow our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. And you also know that you can also get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can follow them. You can go to their website at pillarsclub.co. And also, what you can also do is also like, subscribe, rate everything on H&B Media, man. We appreciate all the feedback, man. We've got a packed show to y'all today. Only difference is Mikey won't be here today. Mikey won't be here for the next 3 shows. He's got some things he got to take care of. Cousin Dan will be back next week. But we do have a guest that we're going to bring in just a minute. But of course, you can subscribe to the Barbers Chat Network Patreon today. I am fucking up these shits that I am reading right now. Barbers Chat Patreon /Barbers Chat Network. You subscribe to the $5 holler, which is I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, but you can get the local hour, which we do right after this. We talk all Chicago sports. And also you can subscribe to the $10, which you get everything that we have to offer on the Barbers Chat Network Patreon, man. Before we get into our sound up, to get to my sound off, we're gonna bring in the rest of the crew, man. We've got Dante, we've got Bang, we've got Courtney, and we've got a very special guest today. I just named off Pillars. We got the guy who runs the damn company, my brother Mike Willis. And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, this is my brother, it's my brother." No, I have been shot at with this man. Okay, this is my dog for real. Like my mother calls him her third son. So this is how close I am with this dude right here.
Well, you know, so when you get shot at, you know.
Yeah, we got shot at right on 79th Street. And for those of you who don't believe that I hopped the fence, because I know that's very hard to believe.
He did.
I actually did.
You do a lot of crazy stuff when you're scared. I tell you that much.
Exactly. But good to have you on, brother. We're gonna talk about some sports just in a minute. We've got Dante, super producer, president of Barbers Chat Network, and our fellow Morehouse man. Brother, how's it going?
Hey, I'm decent, bro. Glad to be in the building. Another great Friday, another great show.
Another great day in Atlanta. We got Mr. J.R. Bang, fresh on PTO. You know, follow him on all social media channels at J.R. Bang. If anybody did not listen to this week's Summer Sessions, you need to. That was an all-time episode right there. Get in tune with us. Bang, how you doing, G?
Man, I've been working on the PTO. So, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm off today. I think I've gotten my last email, so I'll be all right.
That is good. And we've got the one and only Courtney Caller Bro. Y'all know to follow her on Twitter and Instagram at 1-800 Caller Bro. Courtney, what's going on? I see you got the championship hat back on. You feeling good at spring training?
I just as the news cycles continue, I just got to remind y'all who really runs this. I just got to make sure y'all.
That's crazy.
At the
One
end
and
of
done.
the day,
One and done.
sign whoever you want. Never forget who still runs this.
Well,
Doing great though.
before we get into the actual rundown, here, it's time for my sound off. I'm gonna get it's a little serious topic on this sound off, man. The Kansas City Chiefs just won back-to-back Super Bowl championships, solidifying their dynasty on Sunday night. They had their championship parade downtown Kansas City 2 days ago, which was supposed to be a joyous event, but it ended up in a shooting. I think like 12 people got shot. One person died. A lot of them were kids. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I just do want to say, first of all, prayers go out to everybody who was involved, everybody who lost somebody, everybody who got hurt, anybody who had family members, friends who were in this whole thing. Prayers out to them. Also want to give love to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I saw a lot of players there staying with the people. I know one kid I saw, he was interviewed by the Kansas City News, said that Andy Reid stood with him and waited for him to calm down. And so shout out to everything with them for actually staying with them through that time. As I just referenced not too long ago, as somebody who's had a gun in their face. It is not a fun thing. And I do think we could talk about, we're always going to pray about the victims and do this, that, and third, and say we need to do this and that. The fact of the problem is guns are the issue. And until we get back, until we have people, in presidents, everybody in DC who can change these things and actually take away these guns, we're going to have the same fucking issue. We're going to have somebody get shot. Just a couple days ago, I think it was right after the parade, there was a school shooting also that went down. It's to the point where you got these kids, they're dealing with stuff to the point where they're already ready for it, prepared for it. Kids shouldn't have to go to school and have to worry about getting shot. Kids, adults, teenagers shouldn't have to be on to a championship parade where it's supposed to be a fun time where you're going to enjoy to watch your team that just won a championship, have a good time, and you got to worry about your life getting taken away. So I don't want to spend too much time on politics on this show. It's not really my bag, but I just want to say that we need to put those guns away. And if we don't, it's going to be the same fucking thing in a couple months from now. And we're going to still be doing the same prayers. And I'm not saying that you should pray. You definitely should pray. But there needs to be something else to be added onto that to stop this thing from going on, man. So that is my sound off. Too dark of a move, but I didn't want to, let that go by. But let's get into some sports, which is what you guys are here to watch us talk about. So Mike will be joining us once a week on the show. For those of you who don't know, he owns Pillars. Now, Mike, for anybody, we have a lot of people who watch this show who aren't just solely in Chicago. Let the people know what exactly you guys do at Pillars and just everything you guys got on, and how they can get some clothes.
Yeah, man. We basically sell like everyday wear, jogging outfits, sweatsuits, short sets, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, all types of accessories, socks, things like that. Got 4 locations. We also resell shoes, so it's resale value, not retail value. But for those that's not in Chicago, we ship out relatively quick. We have a warehouse that as soon as you order, we usually get your item shipped out at least by the next day, and you could just visit the website at pillarsclub.co and just go ahead and take a look. We got kids' clothes as well. So
definitely, man. Now we all know, well, not everybody don't know, but people who don't know, you are a Chicago's Bears fan, but you are also a 49er fan, which I've told you many times is disgusting, but we're not going to talk about that on the show. Tell the people, number one, how you became a Niners fan living in Chicago, outside of the fact that the Bears absolutely suck. And then we'll get into the actual game.
Okay. What's crazy is someone had brought this to my attention. It was like, ever since you became a fan, they never won again. So, what Super Bowl was that? The 49ers played the Bears played, not Bears, of course not the Bears. The 49ers played the Chargers in the Super Bowl. I was maybe like 5 years old. Yeah, so I was like 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. And I was watching with my pops, and I was like, they kicking their ass. If y'all remember the game, the 49ers kicking their ass. I'm like, who is this team? And he was like, the 49ers is a good team. So I started liking them ever since then. So I went through the Jeff Garcia days and all that other shit, T.O. That's why I'm a huge T.O. fan. So I just love the 49ers since that Super Bowl. But the crazy thing about it, ever since then, they've been in the Super Bowl 3 times. The one against the Ravens. When the lights went out, I thought we should have won that. It was holding in the end zone. They didn't call it. And then the one with my boy Jimmy G with the EIU, shout out to EIU. He was in there. We had a 20 to 10 lead. We blew that. And unfortunately, last week. We blew that as well. So I've been riding with the 49ers for a very long time. Obviously, I'm still a Bears fan, but 49ers is definitely my team. So it's been a lot of heartbreak.
It's been a lot of heartbreak. Now, I told you when I asked you for what you thought the score was going to be, I was like, now, you all know that Patrick Mahomes is going to win this. I think we kind of knew all this going on. But you had a double-digit lead. We talked about on the show on Monday, Dante and my brother, they pretty much sacrificed Kyle Shanahan. Who are you blaming for the reason that the Niners lost on Sunday?
Who else can you blame but Kyle Shanahan? Like this is how I put it. Like, it's something about offensive quote unquote geniuses. They like to get cute. He got cute when he was offensive coordinator with the Falcons. All he had to do is run the ball. Just run the ball. And the game where the first time in Kansas City, incompletion stopped the clocks. So you got Jimmy G, who's not the strongest thrower and things like that. Couple incompletions, stuff like that. Missed deep throw. I forgot who it was to. I think it was I can't remember his name, but just stop the clock. You just run the ball. And in this game, like I saw what you and Flows were talking about coming out of halftime. He just completely pass. Like run the ball. You got the best player besides Patrick Mahomes on the team. Like you got Christian McCaffrey. Handle the ball, wear them down, keep wearing them down, run the ball. They just went away from that, and I think he just likes to get cute. And the crazy thing about it, I betted on that. I knew it was going to be a trick play in that game. It's like, Kyle Shanahan's going to dial something up, and I just think they just weren't prepared. I just saw something that Dan sent. Shout out to Dan. Still, I hate you. Dan said to me, George Kittle was talking to one of the players when Christian McCaffrey fumbled the ball. Like they just wasn't prepared. Did y'all see that?
No,
during that fumble,
yeah, he was talking to George Karlaftis.
Exactly. He said, "Hi, George." As he said,
realizing the play was dead.
As he said, "Hi, George," the ball is right there by him. George Kittle could have got that ball. Y'all joking around. I'm not saying hi to nobody. I'm hearing them guys didn't know the overtime rules. They didn't know if they was going. Some saying, "Oh, we was going to kick it. We was going to take it." They just it just looked like they came unprepared. And he blew another double-digit lead. It's his fault. It's no one else's fault. It's his fault. And as the leader, you're the coach, it's your fault. My opinion.
Go ahead, Dante.
No, I agree 100%. It's on Kyle. I said it all last week. I tried to shoot him as much bail as I could over the years, but it's on him, bro. It's been the same mistakes over and over again.
Well, yeah. So, so going on next is Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks just got fired a couple days ago. So I tweeted when I originally heard the news. I tweeted that Steve Wilks was being a scapegoat for Kyle Shanahan. I had a couple 49ers fans, especially our guy Randy Wilkins, who was on the show last week, said that he had been the Niner fans wanted him to be fired since week 6. Do you feel like he was a scapegoat in this situation, or you want people felt like he should have been fired as well? That this is not just we got to blame somebody firing.
I believe he did a good job. I saw some other stats. I mean, everything's not about stats. He was doing better than what's the last coordinator? DeMeco. DeMeco. Yeah. He was doing better than him his first 2 years and things like that. But the defense didn't really fold. Think about this. The only touchdown they really scored technically on the defense was in overtime. That first one was off a muff punt. The guys just got off the field. Now they on the 11-yard line, things like that, touchdown. Yes, the defense still gave it up, but they already stopped them and made them punt the ball. The defense held them to field goals every time. Field goals to punt. The defense played pretty well the whole season. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why. Of course, you see why they're not going to fire Kyle Shanahan. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. So I don't think nobody needed to be. I don't think no one else needed to be fired. You know what I'm saying? I think the defense played well. They played well all season. Did they have their ups and downs? Yes, like every other defense does. But he had them boys playing, especially coming from DeMeco Ryans. You got to come with that same structure and that same type of energy. And I think them guys still play well. Fred Warner still was good this year. Bosa was good. Armstead, they played well. So Somebody got to take the blame. Of course, it's gonna be that black man.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's not just me, because I definitely was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Like I'm not gonna act like I follow the team like everybody else who actually follows Niners football, but that just seemed like something that was kind of curious me, because he did hold Patrick Mahomes and that offense down up until they actually started coming back. And that would have been a blowout if that defense didn't play the well they did. Now, you said that they're not gonna fire Kyle Shanahan, but if it was up to you, would you fire Kyle Shanahan?
Yes. It's only so many times that you get this opportunity. It like he's what they call it, if you do the same thing over and over, is insanity. Like he's literally doing the same thing over and over. The man had a 28-3 lead as an offensive coordinator. Like, it's no need to gloat. There's no need to keep passing and things like that. Like, you overthinking it. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's simple. There's no need to overthink it. Like Pete Carroll, when he threw the ball with Russell Wilson, just hand the ball off. People say, oh, it's easy said and done. You're just trying to be cute. Hand the ball off. And we got away from that because everything is lights and flashes and everything looks pretty, and with passes, you want to throw it 50 times a game. I don't care how you win, just win. But when it comes to time management and wearing down the defense and things like that, you gotta run the ball. And your time management has to be on point. And he just seems to not know this. It just seems to not know. It's like he's known from the Shanahan tree. You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously he's the Shanahan tree and things like that. But you could get away with this if you could get that Super Bowl ring. You know what I'm saying? McVay could do any dumb shit in the world now. He got a Super Bowl ring. He's looked at as an offensive guru. You know what I'm saying? Once you're doing this stuff, once you get that ring, you could do whatever the hell you want to do. You at least got 10 years of doing whatever the hell you want to do. And that's real shit.
Said the problem with, shout out to Orlando in the chat. So the problem getting rid of Shanahan, who you gonna get him replaced? I mean, there's options out there, and even if you got to take a flyer on like one of those rookie coaches, you got to do that. I just feel like a guy who's gotten away with as much as he has gotten away with, you can't keep allowing that. Like you said, they weren't prepared. If you are not prepared in 3 straight Super Bowls, that's something that needs to be fixed. So I think that he would have to go regardless, whoever the replacement was. Go ahead. Let's go to the Chicago Bears, which is another team that you root for, even though you act like you don't root for them.
I love them.
Bang has a question for you on the Bears.
Okay. All right, man. So even though you shitted on them a couple of times, I heard the shade a little bit. What is your take on the situation that's going on with the Bears? We got the Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields thing. Everybody is starting to weigh in. I mean, the Bears is really on the clock. So what are your thoughts on what the Bears should do with this number 1 pick?
What I think they should do and what they're going to do is going to be 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people talk about the Caleb Williams is this and the third. But honestly, you don't know. Like, that man come in can be Ryan Leaf. I'm not saying he's going to be Ryan Leaf. He can come in and be Ryan Leaf. I'm not saying he is. I think you should get weapons. So this is the issue that I kind of had with the Super Bowl. You can win. Either team that won could be a narrative of how to build a team. You could be like, okay, the 49ers win, just get you an average quarterback, just surround it with weapons, and you can win. Or get you an outstanding-ass quarterback, not saying the rest of the team's not good, build around defense, and you can still win. What's more easier to do? That outstanding quarterback is very, very hard to get. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to get. I would trade down. I only think technically, there's only 2 generational players in this draft. I think it's Marvin Harrison and Brock Bowers. And when I mean generational, it's like no matter what, that guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Not saying Caleb won't. I think the last generational quarterback that came out, maybe Andrew Luck, that like it's a no doubter. Okay, that guy is going to be good at the NFL. I think they should trade down, get Marvin, and draft the O-lineman. I believe they're taking Caleb. I think they're going to take Caleb. I don't want to hear about resetting the clock and things like that. Motherfuckers trying to say their job. Yeah. Because I think it's no matter what, they're not going to hate you for drafting Caleb and he doesn't turn out what he's going to be, but they will. You would never get a job. You're going to be known as the person that passed up on Caleb Williams.
Yep.
I think that's how I'm thinking of. Like, it's a safer bet for Ryan Poles. Like, you know what? Listen, I mean, he could not pick him, and Justin could go on to be great and stuff like that and win the Super Bowls and I mean, that can happen. But if you don't take Caleb and he beats what everyone think he's going to be and things like that, that man Ryan Poles is never getting a job again. He's just never getting a job again. And you're black, like you're never getting a job again. Like I'm shocked. Well, not shocked that Luke Getsy has a job. Like that's crazy. But we all know why. But that's what I think. I think they should. So to keep it short, I think they should trade down, whatever, get the picks, get Marvin Harrison, drive an O-lineman. You know what I'm saying? Going with the rest of the draft. But I honestly think I'm like 90% leaning towards they're taking Caleb.
Well, here's a follow-up question to that. Like we've been talking about on the show, like, you know, as far as worries, which one we more worried about. And I said that I personally feel that the superstar window for Justin Fields is past. And I like with me and you debated this all year about situations. The situation is the situation. I do feel like we would have saw a little bit more from him if he still had that superstar talent in him. I feel like he would go to another team and be really good. I think he can be a bottom 10, like a 7 through 10, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But my biggest fear is if he goes to another, I can live him going to another team and actually becoming that superstar. I can't live with keeping him and he does some of the same things he still does, and then Caleb goes to another team, right. And now we got to look at him and we did the same shit with Patrick Mahomes. Which fear do you, not what you think they're thinking, but to you personally, which fear is bigger for you?
Hear me out before I answer that question.
Okay.
Let me tell you this man receiving core the last 2 years before this year. Chase Claypool, Mikael Harry, Velus Jones, Dante Pettis, Brian Pringle, and St. Brown. Demir Bird, Marquise Goodwin, Darnell Mooney, Daz Newsome, and Allen Robinson. I swear to God, most people only know Allen Robinson on that team. That's who he was going to.
Hold on. We gotta go back to that. See, look, this thing off the 2022 season. Yeah, for the 2023 season, we all said this beginning of the year there was enough for him to show us something. We all said it. Everybody, the most positive Justice League, there was enough for him. He had DJ Moore, he had Cole Kmet, had a good year. And he just didn't do enough. Now, is it 100% his fault? No, I blame the coaching and the scheming 70%. But he got to take a little bit of the blame in there, too.
He definitely got to take a little bit of the blame. But the coaching got to as well, because you're running towards you having Darnell Mooney as a lead blocker. Who the fuck? Like, that man is my size. I'm bigger than him. No disrespect. I'm not saying he can't block, but come on, man. You got these, like, throwing him out there. Like, Darnell Mooney, he did what he did to be a fifth-round pick. To be a fifth-round pick, good. That man's not a number 2 receiver. Like, just keep it G. He's not a number 2 receiver, G. We need somebody that's competent out there. You know what I'm saying? But Justin has to make sometimes it's the trust factor. And people are like, oh, that's why he holds on to the ball. He holds on to the ball because he doesn't want to throw the interception. He doesn't have that mindset like Jay Cutler, like, man, fuck this. I'm throwing this bitch. Jay Cutler, like, I'm throwing this bitch. You going to catch it or not? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to have that trust. And the only one that he trusted on that team was DJ Moore or Kmet at times. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Bears are more scared that they're going to trade away from Caleb and he being more of a god. They like already passed up on Mahomes and things like that. The Fields they could live with as long as Caleb's good.
Yeah,
I think they can like because they're all losing their job, bro. You're going to lose your job if Caleb Williams go out there and he's coming into a better situation. Yeah. So if you draft Caleb Williams, he's already has, like I said, I just named those receivers for Justin Fields. Poop. But he's coming in, he's gonna have a top 10 receiver in the draft. He's gonna have DJ Moore. You're gonna have an offensive line who's with Darnell Wright, who's in his second year, they're getting better. You're gonna have Cole Kmet. You know, he's coming, he's gonna have a defense that's settled in, that's more team chemistry, is really good. Like he's technically coming in, I just want to say technically, coming into a 10-win team. Because the Bears jagged 3 wins. Yeah. So, like I said, this is not the typical number 1 pick. Usually number 1 pick is like the Panthers, only win 1 or 2 games. He's coming to a team that won 7 games, could have won more. So this is kind of unique. He's coming to a better situation.
And that's not even talking about free agency.
Exactly.
I think sometimes when we be having these conversations, and I ain't gonna front, I got irritated this morning because I'm like, everybody in the national media and local media too. Everybody in media is talking about the Bears like the Bears earned that number one pick.
Yeah.
They traded for that number one pick. They didn't earn that number one pick. So they're talking about the Bears like they're 2-14, like they're
Exactly.
1-15, and that's not the case. But everybody is also talking like free agency is not taking place next month too. So you never know who the Bears might come up with. They might come up with Mike Evans. They might come up with T. Higgins. They might come up with Calvin Ridley, or another wide receiver there. And then that's not even talking about the defensive side of the ball, Brian Burns or Daniil Hunter. So yeah, the Bears is coming into a different situation. I just think that people needs to talk to them differently, talk about them differently, and stop talking about the Bears like they are the Carolina Panthers.
Exactly.
And before we kill Courtney of boredom with Bears talk, we're gonna move to a little baseball. Courtney, go ahead. You are the baseball correspondent. The floor is yours.
Oh, I just want so much better for y'all. Whatever happens, before I get into my question, I really need y'all to win this season. Do something, because
by the way, Courtney, tell them who you root for. Tell them who you root for. Who's your football team?
Don't worry.
Who's your football team? Tell them who your football team.
I'm a Saints fan.
Oh, okay then. All right.
Better for your ass too.
But it's not about me. It's not about me. Why are you trying to make it about me? Anyway, as the resident, I guess, baseball correspondent of the group, I guess, if you want to call me that, what do you think about the Cubs and what they got going on this season? The Pacoda standings have them being equally mediocre at about 81-81, finishing second in the division behind the Cardinals, who are projected to win about 85 or 86 games this season. What do you think about the Cubs and their chances this season to make the playoffs?
Okay. Scott probably knows this. It's only maybe a few things I love in the world, and it's the Cubs is literally number one. My daughter's pushing number one. She's at number two. So I love the Cubs more than no, I'm talking shit. But I love the Cubs. I'm a baseball person more than anything. First of all, they have to sign Bellinger. I like Craig Counsell. Obviously, we gave him all that money. I don't know if they're going to play the young players. It's just tricky because it's like, okay, you sign Bellinger. Is he playing first or is he playing center? But if you play, if you play center, that means Pete Armstrong won't play, or I don't know what we're gonna do at third. I know they talk about Chapman. We could get him. So I can hear the rankings and stuff like that, but I don't think our team is fully complete. I know we need another pitcher as well. So I'm just waiting on to see how we do with the free agency and the trades and things like that before I can speak on it. I think we kind of shocked the world at first. We were not supposed to be that good last year, and then we snuck up, and then David Ross just jagged the last 2 weeks of the season. But I believe – I'm not saying the Cubs – I believe the Cubs can win the division. If Bellinger comes back, Suzuki got hot definitely around August, and we just play our game, because our defense is going to be top tier, because right up the middle we got Nico and we got Dansby. I think Dansby going to have a better year hitting-wise. I think we're just going to play a good overall Cubs baseball. I think we need another bat. I would love Chapman there. Chapman, Bellinger, and we just got to get Ian Happ out that third hole. He can't bat third. He just can't bat third. So, but that's how I look at it.
If you guys do sign Chapman, you can do something else with Christopher Morel. You don't have to play him at third. I don't know if I like Christopher Morel at third base. I don't. No,
I don't think they had. I don't think they have faith in him there. That's why I think that the DH is probably where he's at. But we could probably get something for Christopher Morel. Like you said, I think we got 7.
You trying to ship my guy off? That's crazy.
I mean, if it means to get in the World Series, anybody can get shipped off. But
I'm a humble you right now, my brother. That is not happening.
Hey, good luck. Good luck.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Not too long as Shohei Ohtani is also wearing a Dodgers uniform.
Obviously, but just guess what? At the end of the day, you still got to play the game. Like, you guys not even finna win your division. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it. Let's keep it G. You know what I'm saying? The Astros still on that ass. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm happy for the Rangers. When y'all lost to the Cardinals, obviously I was rooting for y'all. That was some of the worst luck in the world. Like, y'all was one pitch away from winning the World Series.
That wasn't luck. Nelson Cruz, 90-year-old ass, had no business playing in anybody's outfield in 2001.
Yeah. You want that bat. You want that. You want that bat. But yeah, I mean, the Cubs, like, I just want to see, this. I want to let the roster fill out before I could like place judgment. But I think everybody else take a step back. The Pirates in a couple of years are going to be a decent team. They're going to be a very. The Pirates are definitely going to be a decent team in a few years. I know everybody on the Cincinnati Reds bandwagon. I'm straight on them. I'm going to keep it G. I'm straight on them. I just really am. So we just going to see it. We all know it's going to be the Braves and the Dodgers and stuff like that. But if the Cubs can get in that mix, like I said, once you get in the postseason, anything goes. You just saw the Braves just lost. You saw the Dodgers lose. So anything can happen.
Definitely. Before we get you about it, we got to talk a little bit of NBA because it is All-Star Weekend. I don't know how hard it's been for you to watch these games. For me, it's been pretty tough for me to watch this season, and like tougher than usual. Like, it's just something about this season where like it's just a bad product on the court, and to the point where I don't even know like who I would consider like a favorites right now. Who do you think, if you had to bet, who's the most likely NBA Finals matchup right now to you?
Man, I would probably have to go with Boston and maybe Denver, because I just think Denver got the most complete team. The unit just been together for so long and things like that. Boston, this got to be the year. Like they got to get it done. They got to get it done. But yeah, like you said, it's hard to watch. It's especially we all into football and things like that. But it's really just like an open gym and they just run it up and down the court. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, this is a bad product, but I think it just gets better when they take it more seriously. But that's towards the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? They just don't take it as seriously. Like, it's like an all-star game. Like, these games, like, every Pacer game is going to be 145 to 139. I don't give a fuck who they playing. They can play us. We're scoring 139. You know what I'm saying? So, but they going to score. It might be a 200-point game soon. Like, don't be shocked. I mean, just don't be shocked. But, Boston, they very athletic. I would like for them to have the depth. I think the Drew Holiday was a good pickup. I think that's what's hurting Milwaukee because their backcourt doesn't have the defense to stop people from getting to the rim. But I think Boston, I just think the Clippers are actually pretty good. The Clippers are actually pretty good. I never root for the Clippers. I'm not a huge Kawhi Leonard fan or Paul George fan because they got two people on their team who are known to choke in the playoffs. You got Paul George and you got James Harden.
Them niggas never healthy to play in the playoffs. You talking about? Are you talking about Harden?
I'm talking about Harden. I'm talking about Harden. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about Harden. Like that man just. I've never say people choke. Never, but in any sport. Like, it just sometimes it happens. Say you have a bad game. That man really be choking. I'm like, man, is it? Like, that shit's real. That shit's it is.
Even with him choking, he let motherfucking Joel Embiid got away with murder last year in the playoffs. Like, he got away with murder, bro.
Well, for his defense, it's kind of easier when obviously he was hurt too. For the big guys and stuff like that, I don't give a fuck. I'm triple teaming Joel Embiid. He would never have those numbers in the playoffs because somebody else want to beat me. I am not letting this man be. Like, I can't understand the defensive strategy. Something. I know these are professional players. Luka is so fucking cold. The man said, as a child, as like a teenager, hooping overseas it was harder there than here. Like, at what point are we gonna double this man? This man, every time a step back, slow three coming, I'm like, slavery coming back. I say it every time, like, slavery's coming back. I'm like, I'm like, slavery's coming back. Like, someone stop this man. And Dallas is a very good sleeper, though. I would say, besides Denver, Dallas is a sleeper. Shout out to my man Dan Gafford. That's going to be a huge pickup for them. Plays defense, he rebounds, and he catches the oop. That first game he with them, he got like 19 points. Like couple blocks, rebounds. So I would besides Denver, I would say it'd be good to see Dallas and Boston. I think that'd be a good matchup.
Yeah, I'll say this before we get you about it. Think about your man Jason Tatum until he actually
every dude player, my man.
Yeah, every Duke player, your man. Until Jason Tatum actually does what he's supposed to do, I'm not taking. And not just him, Jaylen Brown too. Jaylen, I don't know how to dribble Brown. And until they actually start doing the things
His
they
braids
need
are
to do.
short. His braids are short. That's all it is. He just cut his hair. That's what I'm telling you. Just cut your hair, bro. You be straight. His braids are too short.
Just go full clean shaven on your
hair. Yeah.
But Mike, let them know where they getting tuned when you had everything you got going on, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, Pillars_Club. We got stores in the Chicagoland area. We got the West Loop, 1167 West Madison Street. Over East 2006 East 87th Street, Chicago Ridge Mall, and Orland Park Mall. We got some new stuff coming in as we speak right now. Check out the website. We got adult and kids clothes. They actually match each other. Pillarsclub.co. That's pillarsclub.co, not.com. And go ahead and check it out. Get you a couple things. Put it in your cart.
Also, when you go there, the price is the price.
The price is the price. Yeah, the price is they try to walk me down. All right, man, I appreciate y'all.
All right, brother. I'll let you next week.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, so let's get into our next topic. As Bang likes to say, content is king. So I'm about to do a real first take ass motherfucking topic here, and that is the GOAT conversation that we be having on here, man. The GOAT conversation about everybody, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. My question to y'all, and I'm gonna answer it first. And you go by. That was my fault. I got on the solo layer. That wasn't on Dante. That was me. I think that Mahomes is who we think LeBron is. And let me be very clear. I'm not trying to get my usual LeBron James slander bag here. I'm just saying when it comes to the winning aspect, we know like LeBron James is a great player, in my opinion, second best player of all time. But when you see where a guy like Patrick Mahomes, the way he has started this year, not just his career, 7 years playing the game, 6 as a starter, and he hasn't been to anything less than a AFC championship game. And he went out there, he's 3-1 in the finals right now in the Super Bowl, and has actually done the things that a lot of people thought that earlier career LeBron James would have done. So I think as far as the GOAT debates, which I kind of hate having, but we have a show to do, I think he's definitely more closer to Tom Brady than I would say a LeBron James is to a Michael Jordan. And that's because of just the winning aspect. And a lot of people talk about LeBron went to the finals 10 years wrong. And all that's fine. I'm honestly not trying to downplay what he did. But at the end of the day, you have to win the actual fucking thing, in my opinion, for it to matter, especially when you're going up against a guy. Now, these are ghost conversations that he went 6-6 in finals. You got a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's lost. Tom Brady's lost 3 Super Bowls, but he's also been 7-3 and has beaten Mahomes in the head-to-head matchup here. So I think when it comes to these conversations, that if we're looking at the trajectory that Patrick Mahomes is on, now he still has to do a lot more. He's got to stay healthy, which I think is the number one key. You got to see how much longer Andy Reid is going to be coaching, because that's just as much of a factor as how great he is. He is legitimately on his ass as far as trying to take that GOAT title from him. I never thought there was ever really a period in time where I felt that Mike was in trouble just because of the prior losses. And yeah, it's a different thing with LeBron. If you want to be 100% honest about it, only one of the losses is actually on LeBron. You can blame other situations for that. But just the way he went out in 2011 is why I can't ever put him in that conversation. I'm going to go to Dante first, because I feel like we've argued this many, many times. What do you think, and compared to like the LeBron, Michael Jordan thing, you would put Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, and not just from the talent aspect. I do think that Pat is more talented than Tom Brady, and I think that LeBron is more talented than Michael Jordan. Just from that kind of standing, how do you look at it?
I just want to say that, we haven't done Ball Online in a very long time. So
we haven't.
I knew you were going to find a way to slide some LeBron hate in there.
It's not hate.
This is some hating ass shit. It's a question. It's a question because we asked it, but no, I hear what you're saying, and I did bring this up. But in my opinion, in a lot of ways, I think Pat is going to end up as the LeBron of the NFL, because he is always going to be battling those ghosts, and you're going to have a lot of people who, no matter what, they're going to say he lost to Tom Brady. So I think the GOAT conversation as a whole, especially as we get older, you get more people in the league, you get more great players added and more nuance to the conversation. It's just gonna come down to who you like more, bro. It's really a preference thing. Like there have people who have like undisputed resumes where you'll have a handful of guys, but in terms of the GOAT, just the GOAT conversation, period, it's always going to be people who have their biases. It's never going to be a one true GOAT. Even though, like now, obviously, I think Mike is the GOAT, but you know that conversation is going to continue to grow. And if LeBron, you know, stretches his resume longer, wins some more, you're going to have people say some other things. So, it's an interesting conversation. But I see what you were trying to get at, though.
I'm honestly, if I was going to slander LeBron, I would just come out and slander LeBron. I can easily do that. I just think when it comes down, when we look at it, people, I think in a lot of these conversations is we ignore the fact that it's about the wins and losses when you're comparing the GOAT players. That's why I think I can see a world where Patrick Mahomes is considered the greatest player of all time. I haven't and never will see a world where LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. Before I get to Bang, Courtney, do you have an opinion on this or not?
I mean, I have thoughts. I think I have thoughts primarily that we have conversations about who are we including in this discussion when we're talking about the GOAT, and like why are we excluding certain athletes from this conversation as well? Like it's always, it's got to be LeBron or MJ, as if like Serena Williams didn't win every freaking major tournament, you know, and there's like Michael Phelps. I'm just saying, I know it's swimming and I'm going to be that fucking annoying person, but like, honestly, these conversations are kind of moot until you win on a grand scale. And yeah, he's won 3 in 5 years. That's fantastic. I need more. He's still young. I need more.
Well, on the Serena and Michael Phelps thing, I was looking at it from like the basketball perspective. I can't do like an overall sports GOAT. I think way too much.
Who is your overall sports GOAT?
Michael Jordan. I'm from Chicago. Like, let's be very clear.
Dante, who's your overall?
The Michael Jordan of what? Anything. There's always a name that you go with.
No, it's not. It's not Mike. The overall sports GOAT is Wayne Gretzky, without a doubt. Like, if you want to take it there, it's Wayne Gretzky broke the scoring record while he was still playing and pushed that shit forward. Like Wayne Gretzky's numbers are ridiculous. So if you want to go overall sports GOAT, it'll probably be Wayne Gretzky.
Thanks.
I hear you.
Go ahead, man. One. I've exited the chat because of what you had said earlier. Like, you know, everybody's gonna have their own favorites. Look, Paul George entered the GOAT chat. There's basketball players that are playing right now that see Paul George as more of a GOAT than anybody else. Hell, if you even look at a lot of these players right now, you know, they were making players the size of Paul George in 2K. And those 2K kids are now in college or in the pros. So hearing people say Paul George is a GOAT player is weird for me to hear. And I think at that point is why I was like, you know what? Whoever you want to be the GOAT, that's the GOAT for you, fam. Because at this point, we're just naming random ass players as GOATs.
So I heard that. Who was it? It was Brandon Miller who said that.
I think it was Brandon Miller. Yeah,
Brandon Miller. I think we should move it to who's your favorite player instead of GOAT.
Exactly.
Like Kobe Bryant is one. It's like it's Mike and Kobe. Like Mike is my 1A, Kobe's my 1B. As far as my favorite players, Vince Carter is one of my top 5 favorite players. I know he's nowhere near a GOAT conversation. So I feel like there needs to be a distinction between those two. I love Kobe. Kobe is not even better than LeBron. Like if it comes to like who's the better player, and I love Kobe way more than I love LeBron James. I feel like that has to be, separated there too. But Bang, what do you feel about the Patrick Mahomes and Brady with the LeBron and Jordan thing? Do you think that that's more of a reasonable debate than a LeBron Jordan?
No, because they played each other.
Okay.
And that's why that is not the case for me. I think it's more, I think Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes for my generation is more like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, where they played in a finals and Mike beat Magic in this case, whereas in Patrick Mahomes and from like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady's case, Tom Brady beat him. So this would be like if Magic beat Mike, but Mike still went on to win some rings. That's how I would look at this one.
That's a fair way to look at it with that one, because I never felt like a lot of people who are like pro Magic fans, I hear this a lot out in LA too from like older heads, that Mike and we never got the Mike and Magic like rivalry that a lot of people wanted to see because Magic had to retire. So I definitely think that's a good addition to that debate, man. One last topic on the actual Super Bowl, and then we're gonna move on from everything that happened on Sunday. I want to talk about the Chiefs defense that I don't feel like is getting enough credit. And rightfully so. Like when you're the quarterback, we all know we came on here on Monday praising, Patrick Mahomes and everything he did, Andy Reid. But I feel like this defense is being underrated a little bit. If you look at what the defense has done this year, they have shut down the number 1, the number 2, the number 4, the number 6 offenses on the same playoff run. This has never been done in NFL history, and they held all 4 teams to 0 points in the second half. You can even look at some of the wide receivers they went again, holding Tyreek Hill to 62 yards in that wild card game, holding Deebo Samuel for 33 receptions, Brandon Ayuk to 49 receptions, as he so angrily put on social media this week with him and his family. And I don't get that trend of family like calling out the organization on Twitter. I don't think that thing really works. Like I would be telling my cousins to shut the fuck up, but hold him to 49 yards receiving. Jalen Waddle with 31 yards receiving, and then Stephon Diggs was 21 yards receiving. I feel like this team is probably going to be forgotten in the history of this Chiefs run and just the NFL history. If you think about the top defenses in NFL history, obviously there's the Steel Curtain Steelers, there's the 85 Bears, there's the Giants defenses, of course, the 2000 Ravens and things like that. This is a team where statistically they should be included in that, but because you got such a great of a quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, I don't think we're ever going to be talking about that. And I think that's kind of disservice to the things they've done, because they carried this team all fucking season. If you want to be real about it, when the offense was sputtering, they were the team they were the crew that was shutting it down and did their job in the playoffs. Dante, what do you think about how the perception of this defense will be? Well, it has been this week and just going forward.
Oh man, it's unfortunate. Like I always say, man, the quarterbacks get all the praise when you win, all the hate when you lose. So, especially when you have a guy as polarizing as Pat Mahomes, it's always going to be Pat did this, Pat did that, not, well, the team did this and this is why they won. So, with the run they went on, like we said, it was historic. Holding those 4 amazing offenses, I think it was 15.9 points a game or something like that. You got to tip your cap to them. So it's one of those things where when you have these conversations, you don't have to be more nuanced with it and say, well, nah, I feel you, they had Pat, but that defense went crazy when they won ring number 3. Kind of like how we do with Brady. Tom Brady is the guy that he is, but we all know how in his first couple rings, he was a game manager. He wasn't the one out there going to win the ring. So I think, it's another one of those situations, like Courtney said, with Pat being so young and, this team being so young, even though we're already saying it's a dynasty, we got to let the whole thing play out before we talk about how, the actual script will be written. But for right now, I think this is going to be a lot of praise for Pat.
Courtney, what's your take about the defense and how they're being perceived?
When I saw this topic, I was like, that's actually kind of interesting, because I distinctly remember back in December when Jamar Chase was talking cash money shit about the Chiefs defense. He tried to kind of say that it was shade. Say that they ain't got no stars, like they don't have no Jalen Ramsey back there. And fast forward now to February when L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie had played an incredible game on Sunday. Like that was a fantastic game, and obviously Spags was in his bag. Pardon the rhyme. I sound like fucking Dr. Seuss. But no, it was a fantastically coached game, and they played well. And you're right, because Patrick Mahomes also clutched up at the end. Of course he's going to get all the glory because he's Patrick Mahomes. But they should, like Dante just said, the history books, might tell a different story when it's all said and done. But yeah, that defense for me, that's really what did it for me.
Now, Bang, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is not you're older than me joke. This serious question. From what I remember, when the Patriots won those first 3 championships, I was I think it was 14 when they won the first one. I remember Tom Brady getting pretty much all the love, like he kicked the Vinatieri. Now, am I wrong about that?
No, you wrong on that one. You wrong
Okay.
on that one. It was definitely defensively focused, and Adam Vinatieri for the win. Like that defense. Even I know you watched the first 2 episodes of
Incredible, bro.
yeah.
I wish they dropped all of it one time.
Yeah, that documentary is on episode 2 and is inching up as one of the better ones. But
Ty Law gave some great quotes. I think Ty Law is going to be very entertaining in this documentary.
Yes, but you see in that documentary how, and excuse me if y'all heard Liam in the background, he's watching Monster Trucks and he's geek, and it's just me and him right now. But nah, man, it was the defense that they was talking about. It was the defense, and it was special teams winning it for the team. Tom Brady was ultimate game manager at that time. I think it was maybe the 4th Super Bowl where you really start people starting to talk about Tom Brady heavily like that. But I think this team is going to be remembered mainly because this was the team that wasn't supposed to be here. I think that right there is the clincher. This was the team that, as you said, went through a murderous row of defenses, and Patrick Mahomes was on the road. That, my friends, gets you remembered because of adversity. People remember adversity, and I think that's what's going to carry them over.
I definitely hope that is the case. I don't know if it's because I'm a Chicago Bears fan and I've been accustomed to having to appreciate the defense. And I hope the defense actually gets the love that they deserve because they locked down, bro. They locked down him even more than just the pass rush, the secondary. That was the best secondary in football all season, man. So I really hope they do get the love that they're supposed to get. Quick college football here. We really don't have to talk too much about this, but I just wanted to report it because this is seems like a big deal. So college football playoffs will be switching to the 12-year model, 12-team model starting next season. They just agreed to a 6-year deal with ESPN for the entire 12-team college football playoffs for $1.3 billion a year, which is insanity to think that there's that much money that they're throwing together. And this is just adding on to the current 2 years of this deal they're in right now. Anybody have like any thoughts on this, man, about this particularly? I just think it's kind of impressive that we continue to see how much money there really is in sports broadcasting and streaming right now.
Yeah, it just further proves that they bullshit a lot of these numbers. They want to tell you they can't pay people this, they can't do that, especially not even with the athletes, but with the media, with people working with these networks. Suddenly we got Netflix will announce 5,000 layoffs and then pay $6 billion for 2 shows. So it's fucking ridiculous. But I think with college football, people are still gonna find a way to complain. Yeah, and what are we gonna do? Just grow it to a 2014 playoff? Like it's gonna be, when do we stop? So I mean, I think it'll be exciting and entertaining, but it won't solve the problem because there will always be a team that feels wronged by the rankings.
I got 2 words for you.
Go ahead.
December madness. Okay, I'm thinking 64 teams. Okay, mega tournament. Football. I'm joking, obviously, but like you said, that's the natural progression of this because it doesn't make any sense, right? That these people have been abiling paying these players for years, and now people are still mad that these dudes are getting money still. When we see there's so much money in this sport, it's crazy. So much money in this sport.
I definitely did the Nori. Huh?
Give Reggie his Heisman back.
I definitely did the Nori on Dream Champs. I thought Courtney was serious. I'm like, oh, that's hard. I definitely thought that you was dead ass about the 64 team thing.
Now I'm gonna say Chip Kelly do got a plan to save college football. Like I don't agree with 98% of the things Chip Kelly says, but that plan he broke down to make it regional, and then you had the regional champions face each other. That would be fucking fire. But they're not gonna do that. It's just about the TV contract.
They ain't gonna do that. I mean, money. That's where it's at. That's what we're gonna see. And I think the next step really is just two major conferences, just two major conferences, and whoever wins. Or the SEC splitting altogether from the NCAA. But I mean, I am happy to see 12-team playoffs.
Are you implying that the SEC would SEC that they would secede?
Dead ass. Yep. Secede. Yes. Tomorrow.
The irony, like
it's the irony.
So
and if they had everything together to do it, it'd be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And Texas like Texas jumping over there and Oklahoma jumping over there. Man.
That's crazy.
Man, and it will lead to a civil war in college football or just the collegiate sports because because the lacrosse team would be like, yo, fam, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are we doing here? But nah, it's just, I mean, I just see two super conferences or the succession of the SEC really like just getting down to this. But I mean, if anything, I'm more excited about college football. 25 that's popping up this summer. I can't wait to the reveal.
Old Dominion to like 7 straight natties.
Oh my
I'm about to say,
God.
I'm looking forward to building Chicago State into a national powerhouse.
Yes, because they're gonna have a football program. I don't know if the football program is gonna make the game, but they're going to have a football program. I am looking forward to making Mississippi Valley State a national powerhouse.
Yeah, they got Olive Harvey on there.
but they said that it's going to be updates to the game, obviously, but they're going to have FBS schools and they're going to have HBCUs in there.
Oh, okay.
That game really University of Ohio, man.
That game really made me wish I still played video games. I really wish I still played video games.
Hey, y'all not going to see me.
I'm not going. I know I'm gonna play it for a week
for that game, Scott. For that game and that game. Look, I have a PlayStation 5 that's just hidden collecting dust.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna collect dust.
I cut that bitch on today for the first time in like 3 weeks. And it's what's fucked up is I ain't even gave it to my son. He got the 4 downstairs. You say what?
What's it like to be rich, bang?
What you mean? What's it like to be rich? Your ass is over there in a high rise in Dallas. You talking about downtown Dallas? I'm in the suburbs. Goddamn it! I got 3 kids and a wife. Poor as hell over here.
You can afford to have kids in this economy?
No, I cannot afford to have kids in this economy.
Man,
my pullout game is weak. That's what's the problem. All right. Hey, thank you. Ain't that right? Come here, Liam.
Not you talking to the kids.
See, look.
That's crazy.
Look, for 10 cents, you can help me support. You can help me support this little light-skinned boy with braids. For 10 cents. You know what I'm saying? You know, shouts out to Sally Struthers. Say hi, Liam. Say hi.
What up?
Say hi. Say daddy needs money to support you.
He's like, I don't know.
See, look, yeah. Give us money.
Not the handout.
Give us money.
He said, let me get a fin.
All right, now go watch Monster Truck.
No, but I was saying, I was like, he said we got the high rise section. You and Dante, y'all on the high rise section.
Right.
I ain't even got an elevator in my building, nigga.
Nigga. I lived in the high rise once. When we had him, we moved.
He said then we had to leave the high rise.
We had to leave the high rise. But no, I can't wait to college football 25, and I can't wait till they bring basketball back too, because that's when I'm going to bring Chicago State into a powerhouse.
My mom and dad graduated from from Chicago State, actually.
Yeah, my stepdad went to Chicago State.
Yeah, shout out to them. But we're gonna go to a segment that Courtney does not care about, but I have to give her a shout out for putting the live on the NBA League Pass.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Saved me $15 a month. And I'm glad I got on it before everybody else found the scam of not even voting.
They canceled that shit real quick.
They canceled that real quick. And then I think I remember Dante, you like, I just paid for it. Pappy said the same shit. I was like, no, it's not for the rest of the season. It's for 12 months.
Yes.
It's till next year. So shout out to you on that. But let's talk about the Golden State Warriors, the shameless Golden State Warriors. Now, as a Steph Curry stan, I'll have to admit this is maybe some of the nastiest shit that he's been allegedly been involved with on the basketball court. With him, Draymond Green, and the Warriors basically begging LeBron James to join their team. Now, this is something that was reported by Shams a couple days ago about this was a conversation that was being had between both. They said owners, or we even talk about this ownership. We're talking about this, but that the Lakers had zero intention of actually trading LeBron James, especially not to the fucking Golden State Warriors. Combine that with the fact that Draymond is still out here wilding. Yesterday, I don't know if it was yesterday or night, it was Wednesday when they played the Clippers, and it's like he just spazzed out and looked like he was gonna try to shank a nigga with that look he had and pointing up the four like him and Klay Thompson doing, which I think is wildly corny. We know you have championships. You don't have to throw the number up when you're getting your ass beat, especially they were up a certain amount of points on the Clippers and let them come back after being up double digits. That shit is corny. But everything going on in the Golden State Warriors world, they going out real sad right now. And I need there to be some type of damage control here. But you got Klay. Klay needs to adapt and figure out how to play better and like the role that he needs to move to, which I believe is, they just moved him to the bench. He needs to channel his inner Ray Allen when he was on the Miami Heat. But let's just talk about this. First of all, how much would and then Draymond talking shit about KD, which was funny when he was in the fucking parking lot begging for this man to come, and you turn around and do the same thing for LeBron James. Dante, I'm gonna go to you first. What do you think about this particular situation? Just this is like this season from hell from the Warriors.
It's clown shit. It's clown shit, bro. I think as far as the whole LeBron thing, that was an ownership play. They're gonna try to maximize their assets. That's just the world they come from. Today we like, we're gonna try to get LeBron James in here. Draymond, he's an interesting character. Like the whole KD shit is always comedy to me because, like you said, you asked him to come there. So to criticize him after the fact and consistently do it just don't make no damn sense. Him wilding on the court has always been a thing, but like, making the shank gesture and all of the other shit, like it's one thing trying to be like a character. Yeah, he's just acting weird now, bro. So it's like if he wasn't on the Warriors, nobody would put up with this shit. And so, Klay Thompson, that situation has been just altogether sad. Like some of the shit he says, some of the shit he does, the way they've been treating him. I'm glad he had a good game the other night. He had over 30 off the bench. But yeah, bro, they need to blow that up. And one thing I think that people are losing track of is they had a great run. It's okay to say it's fucking over. Like it's not like these guys are in year 5 and 6 of their careers. These motherfuckers old. Like it's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? It's ran its course. It's over. Let's reload it with Steph and whoever. They should have never signed Draymond. They should never gave him that money. I understand Jordan Poole is who he is, so I'm not saying you should have kept him, but you should have blew it up. And then, if Steph is willing to play through a retool, cool. But if not, then you may have needed to, all right, Steph, what you want to do? But nah, bro, they got to blow this shit up.
Now, Bang, I'm gonna go to you. You said a couple weeks ago that they were gonna send him to therapy. We all said it wasn't gonna be real therapy. Now, send him doing the shank shit, and now there's other things going on. What do you think? Like this whole Draymond thing. Like, how does this end for the Warriors? Because it feels like he hasn't learned anything.
As long as the team condones it, it's going to be okay until some shit fucking happens. And that's what's happening. The team condones it. Like I said, this was fake therapy. He didn't go and really sit down and assess how he's hurting the team and stuff like that. And yeah, when he was doing the shank move, I was like, yo, what's going on here? Like, what? He threw up the phone and, like, what was he in the county? Like, was he just throwing up the phone and just saying he was going to shank a
Even
GD
Russell Westbrook was like, nigga, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, what is you doing? Even the face that he made while he was doing it looked deranged. Somebody had screenshotted his face at that moment. And I was like, yo, buddy ass is really out here wild. But yeah, as long as the team condones it, it's going to continue to happen. And this is where I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith a lot. But I felt like he was within his right to be mad at well, just to be upset at Steve Kerr and others who were saying that he was wrong with saying some of the things that he was saying about them and their leadership. Because while Draymond Green is a grown man, he's going to do what he wants to do. He also would fall in line if he had a true leader on the team to tell him, yo, you tripping right now. The team is led by Draymond Green because Steph is basically like, yo, for as long as it worked for us, it's cool. But it got Draymond out here looking like some type of weirdo. So, I mean, at this point, it is what it is. They like it, so I love it. And it's going to continue until it runs its course. And like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green is on another squad. And Steph too. Shouts out to the Knicks.
Shout out to everybody watching on Instagram. Shout out my man Gator, chairman underscore of the board underscore board on Instagram. He said Warriors blew that lead Warriors blew that lead against the Clips without Kawhi. That shit hurt Draymond. That's why he lashed out when things aren't going his way. Yeah, and that's part of the problem. Like if you're gonna be, it gives off real front runner vibes, man. We do that type of thing because he's be the first one who yelling and cussing out people to begin with. And I didn't necessarily have a problem with the KD comments because KD was on that stage on that press conference after the whole Nurkic thing happened and basically talked about him like he had a sickness and like, dude, you were his teammate. Like, I don't think that was the proper way to go about it, especially a guy.
That nigga a nut though.
Okay, this is the thing. Like now I don't know their relationship anymore, but I kind of felt like I wouldn't have said it that way. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I'm wrong. Dante, would you have said it that way if you were Katie?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't call me a bitch. You done said a lot of things about me. So, like, it ain't nothing to really say, man. I hope this nigga gets some help. Like, for me, it wasn't the issue. Because, like, one thing about KD, like, he talk about everything. Like, a lot of people will hold shit in. A lot of people won't do stuff. But ever since the burner, he's really probably one of the more open superstars out there. So, I think when he made that comment, it was a genuine comment. He wasn't saying it to try to shit on Draymond or put him out there and make him look bad. He probably was like, I really hope bro get the help he need.
Yeah, Draymond's not going to take that well whatsoever. Let's go to our next topic, man. This topic right here, man, I saw this on the Dan Patrick show. We talk about the business of sports, the business of the NBA, and everything going on, in Vegas this past week with the Super Bowl going on, all different teams that have been moving there. We've been hearing about the Vegas potentially getting an NBA franchise as an expansion team. Adam Silver talked about it a little bit on Pat McAfee this week, but then Patrick said something that made my ears perk up a couple days ago, and he said that he knows somebody who is part of the circle that helps people bring teams to different cities, and he said that he is hearing that the NBA is going to be preparing to get things in motion to bring an expansion team to Vegas, and that right now LeBron and his team he's been putting together the Fenway team. Of course, he owns, he has part ownership in the Boston Red Sox, and there's a soccer team. I don't know if it's Manchester United. Somebody correct me on that.
I think it's either them or Liverpool.
No, it's Liverpool.
It's Liverpool. I know it's one of them. Ownership in Liverpool. Him and his team are the front runners to bring the team to Las Vegas. But here's the crazy number right here. That is how I'm gonna ask y'all. Well, no, I ain't ask y'all. I saw it on notes. Never mind. But it was $5 billion just to get the rights to even start to bring a team to Las Vegas. So I'm gonna go to Bang first. What do you think about the potential of this happening? And just we keep talking about all this money being thrown around in sports. Now, this is just the number to start. What do you think is going to be like the final number if and when this team actually gets built in Vegas?
It's at 5 right now. You could probably look at another 2 to 3 billion at the very least. That's cool. Like, I mean, I've only been to Vegas once, so I'm not about to sit up here.
Only once? I would think you've been there multiple times.
Only been to Vegas once?
Yeah, I only been to Vegas once, and that's a
Summer
Session story.
I've been once this quarter, nigga. Like
I've been to Vegas like 5 times.
So the idea of like people either never having been to Vegas or just only having gone maybe one time, it doesn't click.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm going back this year. I'll be there in September. I'll be there in September of this year. But I mean, if they're already supporting the football team the way that they're supporting the Raiders, you got the A's coming, and then you have a possible, basketball team.
Don't forget the Stanley Cup champion.
Oh yeah. My bad.
They're the best.
My bad, because they're the best team. They're the best team.
The WNBA champions.
Yep, and the WNBA champion. Like it just turns out that Vegas, the area that all leagues was trying to stay away from, is now a hotbed for sports. You would have thought that, they would have did this in another city. Like you got Nashville, that people have been clamoring to get, some sports teams there outside of the Titans. You got Louisville and other teams that we've seen them talk about over the years. Northern Virginia, you've seen them talk about over the years. It feels like they've tried to avoid Vegas until you couldn't avoid it no more. So it's very interesting to see, not the short term, but the long term, because we've seen cities get teams and they start off hot, but then, they go through a little bit of a losing streak, and then, the market starts to lose interest. So I'm looking at this more of a long term thing, and does it have staying power? I do believe it does have that in Vegas. With everything that goes on in Vegas, can a team in Vegas afford to be Huff? Yes. And it's just thinking about the Vegas team in hockey. Like, they could not afford to be Huff. I think the Raiders could afford to be it because football is king. But basketball, baseball, hockey, I don't think you can afford to come there and be Huff. So I would rather see a team move there as opposed to be an expansion team, because I think it would be a bit easier for the people to like it. Like, I don't think you want to do an expansion draft and, the first pick of the expansion draft is like, Theo Ratliff Jr. or some shit.
But that's the thing, though. The expansion draft, and again, I know the rules might be a little different. I don't know the NBA expansion draft rules. But the difference for Gary Bettman set the Vegas Golden Knights up for success with that expansion draft. That team went to the Stanley Cup in their first season of existence. They lost to the Caps, yes, but that was unheard of. That's crazy. The Seattle Kraken, they're an expansion team. They had immediate success with the expansion draft. So, like, NHL is doing the expansion teams right. One can only hope, though, that the NBA would also get it right.
Yeah, basketball's not going to do that. I remember watching, like, I feel like I'm aging myself again. Y'all going to call me the old nigga.
Big country.
We don't do that anyway.
But I remember watching the expansion draft when the Vancouver Grizzlies and the Toronto Raptors were going into the league, and the first pick in the expansion draft was B.J. Armstrong, and B.J. Armstrong said, "Fuck that shit. Yeah, I'm not playing for this goddamn team," and he ended up getting traded to the Golden State Warriors.
Didn't the same thing happen to Rick Mahorn? Didn't he, like, when
Minnesota Timberwolves?
Minnesota doing the right. They took him off. They put his name in the draft during the fucking Pistons parade. They couldn't even wait till the parade was over.
Yeah, so the NBA is different when it comes to expansion drafts.
Yeah, but I think as far as Vegas as a whole, they probably want expansion teams over teams that move because the fee is larger, I believe. I know with Major League Baseball, I think it's like $150 million or something like that. But the city gets more money if you get a new team as opposed to somebody moving there. So that's why the mayor of Las Vegas, she was like, honestly, I think it's in their best interest to figure it out in Oakland. Like,
I was about to ask y'all. So what's
that is also related just because the ballpark, its renderings of where they want to build the ballpark was in unincorporated area. It's technically in Las Vegas. A lot of people don't know that. Las Vegas, the Strip, is not in the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Las Vegas
it's
the unincorporated town of Paradise, Nevada.
Paradise, right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she wanted the ballpark further away from where they currently want to build the ballpark, which is where the Tropicana resort and casino currently is. Because, I mean, again, I used to live there. So I knew even when I lived there at the time how nightmarish that intersection is of Las Vegas Boulevard
Yeah.
and, what is it, Flamingo?
Yes, because I'm about to say, like, not
now
even on those.
You want to have imagine the traffic for the time in which NHL, MLB, NBA, all of those sports are going on, and you got Raiders traffic, you got Golden Knights traffic, you got A's traffic. So she just wanted the ballpark moved into like downtown, like old historic, like downtown Vegas, proper Vegas, one for traffic congestion, etc., but also for like the money into opportunity zones is what she called.
Yeah, and further proof he's an unserious person. Yeah. Further proof that Fisher is a very unserious person. Like the Tropicana site is like 10 acres, and she's offering him like 68 acres, so he could actually do his entire project.
You whatever you wanted within that zone. Just go half a mile. And also downtown Vegas is on the rise as well because people want a cheaper Vegas experience. We're in a messed up economy. People go to Vegas, to have a good time, but they want their money to go further. That being said, they should bring in. I think they should bring a new team to Vegas. No, none of none of that moving teams. That's lame. Also, that's terrible for the fans of that team. By the way, that's a real stinker.
And I still feel bad for Seattle fans. Like they still should have the Sonics there. But go ahead, Dante.
Yeah. How about and like I know that we ain't on the baseball topic yet, but don't be surprised if Salt Lake City steals the A's. Do not be shocked.
Yeah.
If Salt Lake City steals the A's. But I think $5 billion, that's a hefty price tag, but we've seen the number rise more and more. I think the Bucks just sold for like $4 billion or something like that. So the way these valuations have continued to rise, it's gonna be interesting though, because that market, even though it's a hotbed right now, TV wise, it's still not one of the best markets to be in. It's still like middle of the pack. I want to say like 25 or some shit like that. So you still have to deal with that, deal with TV contracts. And like you said, with football, not only is football king, it's easier to get football to set up like a destination weekend because it's only 8 home games. It's a lot easier to say, yo, I'm gonna comp you some Raiders tickets, fill this motherfucker up, as opposed to 41 home games for basketball. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
You gotta get the home, you gotta get the people in Vegas involved immediately. There's so many entertainment offerings there. So at that point, right, you'll have 3 major sports. You can't sit up there and not field, like Bang said, you can't afford to not field a competitive team immediately.
But this is why I feel like LeBron needs to have the team. And this is why I feel like there's a difference between they would have said Shaq was in there, but everybody was like, oh, Adam Silver's gonna want LeBron to have the team. Now we don't know what kind of owner LeBron would be just because he's a great player. I mean, Michael Jordan was a shitty owner, but Michael Jordan did hire a lot of black people, which I say I give Mike credit for that. Nobody hired more black people than Michael Jordan. But we don't know that LeBron would be a great owner, but we do know from Bron's business that he's gonna do it right. LeBron's gonna hire the right people to at least try to bring the attraction there. Now that doesn't mean it's gonna work because, like you said, with football, baseball, and the MLB and the NBA, the only leagues I feel where there's actual rebuilds. I don't believe that this thing is rebuilding in the NFL. I think it's retooled. It's the only from worst to first league that I can really see out there. NBA, but rebuilds take a long time. For OKC to get where they are right now, that happened from the Paul George trade. That was 5 fucking years ago that Paul George got traded. So it takes time. So I do agree with you on that. It might take a little bit longer, but if you have a guy like LeBron, when he retires, he's going to be in the community and probably be like the face of that. I think that will help a little bit more as far as actually launching the whole thing.
I agree. And I say this, Courtney just mentioned how the NHL sets their teams for success. Adam Silver, you like finessing shit. Make it so, when the expansion draft comes, you have teams claim players, but you're going to have certain guys that are fringe guys based on contracts or whatever, and let those guys be the team that pool that they can pick from for the expansion draft, and just instead of just telling teams, all right, put 3 of your weakest motherfuckers in the pool and just let them be unprotected. Like make them make these choices where it's like get some real guys in there so you can get at least a team that's a playing team year one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're gonna be like the Knights because that was lightning in the bottle because that team was really good. But you could set it up. Adam Silver can do it the correct way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the whole business of Vegas is really just interesting to me how they're moving things out there. But got two more NBA topics before we move on to Major League Baseball. Let's talk about. I feel like we've been talking with LeBron, but it's another thing that came up. Of course, we know the Lakers are the most talking about a ninth seed ever, but the Lakers are currently the ninth seed in the NBA. But we all know they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. There wasn't anything for them to get. But two things that kind of perked my ears up a little bit over the last couple of days. One, Kendrick Perkins was on NBA Today, and he said that Laker fans need to be patient. Well, if anybody's ever met a Laker fan in their life, know the patient is not going the same sentence as Lakers fan, and saying that they're going to be able to bring a third star next year. And then Shams was on Pat McAfee this afternoon because everybody's in Indianapolis for the All-Star game. And Shams said that he doesn't know what Perkins getting his sources, but he does say the Lakers have 3 first-round picks that they plan to package to keep LeBron there because LeBron has a player option to be able to leave. And that name he brought up was a Trae Young. And then he said that Atlanta's going to have a lot of decisions to make, and that he could see if they did want to give that up with Trae Young being one of the players who could go to the Lakers or something like that. I'm gonna go to Dante first because he is the you're in Atlanta. One, how do you think that the Hawks have any intention of trading Trae Young, and do you even think that that would even work on the Lakers? I personally don't think there's any trade out there that's helping the Lakers unless you got a time machine that can put LeBron James 5 years younger and make Anthony Davis healthy forever. I don't think anything's gonna change. But what do you think about that? Mute, brother. See, we're really good today.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that Atlanta would do it, but Trae Young may force the hand because you're talking about a guy who he's already on his third coach. You tried, to bring in new people. Last season, they were hella excited about DeJounte Murray. This trade deadline, you almost moved them. Like, so, the pieces you've brought in haven't really been working. John Collins, you shipped him out of town. So it's one of those things where if I'm Trae Young, I'm like, okay, what is the vision here? What are we doing? How are we taking this thing forward? Because they really have fallen off a cliff since that Eastern Conference Finals trip. So I think that's one of those situations where Trae may force their hand and say, nah, trade me, bro. I'm out of here. So I could very well see that happening because it's already been rumbling that he's not happy. And as far as the Lakers, I would have to see that fit. Like I said, I know Bron is. It would be great from a scoring standpoint because Trae can put the ball in the bucket and LeBron needs somebody that can go get buckets. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen time and time again, for some reason, the Lakers, don't run as many plays for AD as they should. But I will caution people this. I know they hype Trae up as a shooter. That man is not a shooter. Like, that's not how he gets his buckets.
He's not at all.
So that's why I'm with you where I say it would be an interesting fit. But I wouldn't be shocked if Trae demanded a trade because he's definitely not happy with everything that's going on in Atlanta.
And I'll say this too. I know I'm gonna come off as a hater again, but I'm tired of the every time LeBron or the Lakers don't. And I don't blame the Lakers because if you're the Lakers, you're Jeannie Buss, you're gonna do what you're gonna do to keep your franchise star happy. If there's anything LeBron James I give him credit for is always keeping front offices on their knees, you know what I'm saying, on their toes. I said on their toes, same shit. But it kind of goes with what you just said, Dante, about sometimes you just gotta accept when it's over. We gotta accept that it's over for the Golden State Warriors, and we gotta accept the fact that the Lakers are probably not winning a championship with LeBron James there. I don't think LeBron's gonna win a championship, period, again. I just think that window is past, and I don't see how a Trae Young helps us. On top of that, they're going to have to trade more. They're not going to be able to just trade those low first rounders to just get Trae Young. There's going to be other stuff that Atlanta's going to want if they're going to move off their franchise guys. I just don't see how that helps whatsoever. Bang, what do you think about this and just everything? I feel like the Lakers are trying to get the last juice out of this LeBron AD thing that's now, 6 years in?
I don't think it's even the Lakers. I think it's the media. This goes back to content is king, ladies and gentlemen. The league is good when certain teams are winning, or at least in the conversation. So LeBron James being a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, no matter what age he is, it it continues the conversation. But this team has no chance of winning anything. And if you were to move on from a LeBron James, you would need to get capable people back in order for that to continue. I give you a perfect example. Who really remembers the Eldon Campbell, Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel days as Lakers?
The Dale Harris days.
Like, who really truly remembers that team?
Nobody.
And that team did still go to a playoff, right? Yeah. Matter of fact, that team was like that collection was one of the teams that exited the Seattle Sonics out the first round of the playoffs. But we don't talk about Eldon Campbell. We don't talk about Eddie Jones. We don't talk about Nick Van Exel like we should. George Lynch and all of those people. That's what the Lakers want to avoid. Yeah. They don't want a whole bunch of just guys on the team. Like, even with Kobe. You had Kobe Bryant and you had like everybody else, but you still had Kobe. So, yeah, Roderick, I mean,
shout out to you, Roderick. Shout out to Roderick being the shout out in the chat. I will say this: if you have delusion, you have hope.
Yeah, that's so what I would say about that.
If you have delusion, you have hope.
Hey, in the words of Yolanda Adams, the battle is not yours; it's the Lord's.
The battle is not yours; it is the Lord. So if you believe in your heart that the Lakers are going to the finals,
that should be your motto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, I know where you're going now. I need to see Courtney always be throwing a little bear slander in there.
The bear slander.
Yeah, but like Parsley and shit.
Yeah, but as far as the trades go, it sounds good, but I don't think Atlanta would take that. I mean, you was talking about Murray and all of those things. Remember when they hired Quinn Snyder and it was like, oh, I think we got the coach that could really put it all together, and they still ain't put it all together. So all of those trades sounds good, but like you said, Scott, like who's gonna want like the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th pick of the draft?
Yeah,
nobody.
Nobody's gonna want
not for Trae Young.
Not for no damn Trae Young. And I feel like if it was an opportunity, they would have been able to get DeJounte Murray at the break. If that was the case. So exactly. I don't know. And I don't blame either side. And you're right. I do blame the media, but I feel like that's a different discussion too. If we want to talk about where the NBA is at right now, there's a lot of good young teams that aren't getting the coverage that they should. And I get it from that perspective. Lakers move the needle. It just is what it is. We're going to talk about the Cowboys as soon as the fucking OTA start. It's going to be right back to what can Dak do. That's just how it is. I'm not naive to that, but I do feel like there's just nothing they can do, I believe, to get them. Like, Denver's not going to get any worse. There's these other teams, and Minnesota's going to get better. OKC is going to get better. I just think the time is over, man. One last thing in our NBA topic, then we're going to move over to Major League Baseball. It is All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend is in Indianapolis right now. The Rising Stars Challenge, or if you're an old nigga like me, you still call it the rookie-sophomore game. It's going on. It's actually and I'm actually going to watch this one tonight. You got Wemby Hooper, you got Jalen, what's my man? Jalen from, my man from the Rockets. What's his name? Jalen Green. My man. Yeah.
Lil Dre.
Yeah, exactly. You got Chet Holmgren and Lil Dre. Hey, CJ Stroud, man. Hey, dog, I'm just going to say this. Be smarter with the cameras around. I'm not going to say what to do. Be smarter with the cameras around.
I would like to shout out my Houston team. I was going to send that in the chat, but shout out to my Houston team out there, 97.9 The Beat. I'll be out there in Houston on a Tuesday, but our team is the one who caught that footage of CJ Stroud getting into and Burrows getting into whatever card that is. So shouts out to my Houston team for getting that footage. Y'all see that little thumbnail in there.
I will say this.
How old is he?
He's 23, ain't he?
What 23, the hell is you doing with that little boy?
It's okay.
My Houston
team. He's 22.
You peeped that too.
I gotta.
That's
my Houston team. Yeah.
I got to speak for my resident brother Mikey. He's not here. It's all right, brother. Do your thing, brother.
No, here's the thing, man. This is the thing. He said, "Hold on, I got to respond." LA won 6-7. I get all that. That's fine. If you believe D'Angelo Russell is going to keep playing like that for the rest of the playoffs, if you believe that in your heart, I'm with you, brother. I am not mad at you, but no, that's not.
As we said, the battle
believe,
was not
the
yours.
The battle is not yours. It is the Lord.
It's the Lord.
If you believe in your heart the Lakers going to finals, my brother, the Lakers are going to the finals.
The dreams ain't easy. Just stick by your plan. Coming from boys
what
to
they say, you know, faith the size of a mustard seed, my nigga. God bless you. You know, I hope you do it.
What's the other gospel singer? It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. It might be worth it. We might be sitting here in June, and I might be wrong. It might be Lakers Celtics again, and I might be, you know what? I was a dumbass. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but we gonna see. But I want to say this about CJ Stroud. I'm not blaming him. I know we kind of got off topic, but that's what we do. He said, clip it. We will clip it. I will clip it up. And if I'm wrong, I will come back. And we
matter of fact, Roderick, if we wrong and you right, we invite you on the show.
We invite you on the show. If we are wrong,
Roderick, I will speak for myself. You can take my spot, buddy, because I don't care about none of this.
Courtney said she's going on PTO.
NBA is trash.
We are all joking aside. You were invited. If the Lakers are in the NBA Finals, get in contact with us. Go to my Twitter account at @BarbJScott. DM me, and I will personally bring you on the show, and you can talk shit and tell me how wrong I was. Take your victory lap. We're gonna clip it up. I'm gonna have this on the H&B YouTube. If I am wrong, you can come on here and talk your shit, brother. So that's for you. But we're gonna say this about CJ Stroud. And I know we got off topic, but that's what we do here at the Barbershop Network. We get off topic. I'm not mad at CJ Stroud. If I was 20, what you say, Courtney? 22. He's 22. If I was 22, 23 years old, and I had the money he had, and Emperor Rose wanted to kick it, I'm doing it. At 35, am I doing it? No. Because I'm not a dumbass. But at 22, hell yeah, I'm doing the fuck I gotta do. So I'm not mad at him. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
I'm not mad at him. It's her that should know better than to be out here dating.
That's a deeper, darker conversation, and we know it is two different sides of the coin. If that was who's the water chick? Who's the water girl? The one who says water. If that's Tyler and she's out with Leonardo DiCaprio, we call Leo every goddamn name in the book.
Well, Leo already has the running jokes about him trading.
But
that's the point. It's a joke, though. Nobody takes it serious.
Nobody takes it serious
about it.
Can one of y'all niggas
that take it serious? There's a certain demographic of people that don't take it serious because it's double standards. But again, different conversation, different day.
But can one of y'all young niggas date Coco Jones?
Coco Jones is the number one on the market right now.
She be at the games now. One of these little niggas need to go ahead and be the young couple on the red carpet, fam. Come on. Ja Morant be around. He gonna be around too many hard legs during this All-Star weekend, wherever he's gonna be at. No, man, go take Coco Jones on a date.
Are the hosts in Indianapolis these days?
No, he ain't gonna be in Indianapolis, man. He's gonna be somewhere else. But he's gonna be with niggas. He's gonna be with niggas. He's gonna be with too many hard legs. and take Coco Jones on the date.
And Bang has been saying that Ja Morant used to holler at Coco Jones for months now.
Hey man, your girl Taylor Rook said that if she could FaceTime somebody and their Cash App her, she said Ja Morant.
Hey man, he said Ja Morant, Tracy Ellis Ross. Tracy ain't gonna put herself through that, man.
Hell no.
She ain't gonna. She
ain't gonna do it. Yeah, she gonna want a more mature, younger NBA, like Therese Halliburton. Somebody gonna be out there.
What about the dude that builds Legos?
Who's the nigga that builds Legos?
Miles.
Nah.
He seems so nice though.
No,
he probably is a nice dude, but like you're right, and it's double standards for these things. But all I'm gonna say, CJ, just make sure the camera ain't around, brother. But do your thing. I ain't mad at you whatsoever. I'm
not mad, CJ. I'm just disappointed.
You say you're just disappointed. But what I was saying was, do we like All-Star Weekend here last year? I felt outside of the dunk contest, I thought the dunk contest last year was fire. with the Mac McClung dunk contest. But I thought that was one of the worst All-Star games I have ever seen in my motherfucking life. This year, I hope that it's better. Now, I saw they were handing out All-Star rings, but I was corrected on Twitter. They always have given out All-Star rings, which I did not know. Oh, wow. So I did not know that. But I did not know that. I apologize, but thank you. I did not know that they got rings. My whole thing is, what do you think the excitement level? I kind of feel like there's no excitement level for the All-Star game, and maybe it's because the city they're in, and they've been in, I won't call them trash cities. Let me say, not tourist destinations.
I'll say it for you. They've been in trash cities. I would be more inclined. Listen, when I truly do not care about the NBA as a product. Like I used to love the NBA. Now I just find it really hard to care about it. But I've always enjoyed watching the All-Star game because I am like floored by the fact that somebody can make that many consecutive threes. The dunk contest used to be lit as hell. It used to be a true spectacle. I don't know what's happening with it now besides, the Adam Silver impact. It's atrocious. And I really don't want, like, even the idea if you wanted to go watch in person, I'm not spending my hard-earned American dollars to go to fucking Indianapolis. Respectfully. I'm so sorry. That's not a tourist destination. That's a layover. That is a 2-hour layover in between your flight to a real city. Sorry.
I am a self-proclaimed big city elitist. I feel that all Super Bowls, I feel that all All-Star games should be in only cities that people want to actually visit in their spare time. So I'm glad that next year it will be at Chase Center, San Francisco. Then after that, it's back in Los Angeles again. I think it should be a rotation like what you get for the Super Bowl most times. But I just hope that the game is actually better, because that was one thing about, at least with the All-Star games, they were competitive. And last year, niggas weren't even trying, bro. And he said NBA needs a USA candidate. Well, see, that's the thing they do with the rookie sophomore game. They do the USA in the world, and the world has been cooking the USA. So it's like it's getting to the point where you're gonna have. I'm not gonna say I'm worried about the limits, because America will always find a way to come out on top of those. Because I do think we have, and especially with LeBron putting the Avengers together of the dream team. Like, no, we ain't lose these niggas again. Steph, you coming? KD, you coming? Giannis, come on. And so I just feel like as long as they actually play hard, I think it can be entertaining. I'm not saying play hard the whole game. They never played the whole game in the history of the All-Star game. They've never played hard the entire game. But at least give me a competitive fourth quarter. We didn't get none of that last year. And I do think it's a good start with the rookie sophomore game tonight, because you actually have some young talent that people want to see that I believe can be entertaining. But overall, I just don't feel any buzz there. And I think you said it. Not what Mike said it when we had him on. It's all about when you look at the NBA with them playing hard. I've said the NBA product's been hard to get through the regular season, but I enjoyed the in-season tournament. When they played hard, when there was money on the line, I enjoyed the in-season tournament. I think the playoffs been good the last couple of years, and I expect it to be good again this year. But there's got to be a way to make the regular season entertaining, and at least have the All-Star game be entertaining. So that's what I'm hoping that I see this weekend. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about that. We will recap that on Monday with Weekend with the Association. Of course, Pavi will be joining us with that. But let's get into some baseball, man. Let's get into some baseball. Spring training has officially started. We just seen the pictures on Instagram of everybody, getting there. They're training in, man. Pitchers and catchers report. Even saw a couple position players there early as well. I know I saw Mookie Betts was on there. Shohei, Shohei's not pitching this year. A lot of those things going on. But big news here. Dante's boy, Rob Manfred, came out and said he will no longer be commissioner of Major League Baseball in 2029. That is a long 5 years, but I think this is something that has been long overdue. I think he is the worst commissioner in sports. Dante, what do you feel about this? Do you think it's too long?
Yes, brother. He made a good point. He's 70 years old. So, at the end of this term, he'll be 75. And hopefully
he's 65 right now. He's 65. Okay, 70 in 2029.
Got you. He'll be 70. And what I'm hoping, honestly, and I know he just recently went back to the Red Sox. I would love to see a guy like Theo Epstein get a shot at being commissioner. I know he said he doesn't want it, but that's the guy I would want to pick. But hopefully they just get some young blood in there. somebody, you know, who understands the values that everybody loves about baseball, the things that, you know, we don't necessarily need to tweak everything. There's nothing wrong with bringing new aspects into the game and trying to, especially with, you know, officiating and some of the things they've done. But overall with Manfred, bro, like I said, it's been one of those things where he's one of those commissioners he will be forgotten about. Nobody will really be, you know, when we sit here and talk about the history of baseball and, you know, the way we rave about, you know, good or bad, Bud Selig and guys like that. He's not a guy that we're going to mention. It's going to be like Rob Manfred. Oh, yeah, we whatever. So finally, you know, I'm sure there are people around baseball who are rejoicing. And let's just see what they do next. Because, I mean, baseball, you know, for as much as people talk about the sport dying, you have a lot of young, exciting talent from all over the world, but especially even here in America, we have way more American players who are coming into the game, really doing great things. So hopefully we get a commissioner who can really emphasize that and start to continue to grow the game, because they losing the long game with baseball. With football and basketball.
Courtney, what you think about this announcement?
I mean, it's going to be a long 5 years. When does the next CBA expire? I just thought about that right now.
Look that up.
That could be interesting. That's an interesting little time thing to think about. But just about playing devil's advocate here. Listen, there's a lot of
it expires on December 1st, 2026.
3 years before his term is expected to end.
Yes.
Interesting. Let's keep that in the back of our heads. But no, I mean, being honest, in like Rob Manfred did a lot of good things for baseball, right? The first one really that just comes to mind is speeding up the game a little bit. Listen, it is nice to get out of there 30 minutes or so earlier. I'm not gonna hold you, but he also had a lot. There's a few stains on the resume. You know, none of the Astros players getting punished for the cheating scandal. You know, that was crazy. I understand the coaches getting in trouble, but like none of those guys who actively participated in it got in trouble. You know, whatever. But my biggest beef with Rob Manfred's legacy is what he did and what the owners did with the streaming and the blackouts. Baseball, which was once a national game, is now so incredibly regional. You know, you have people that really only care about their teams until it's time for play. Unless you're talking about real active, like baseball fans, nobody cares about, you know, oh, let me go ahead and tune into this Phillies Braves game and they're, you know, an Angels fan, right? Baseball is so incredibly regional now, and it wasn't always like that. And like you just said, NFL has really taken its place as, like, yeah, somebody might be an Arizona Cardinals fan, but they're still going to go check the score of that Jets-Giants game, which that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Very crazy.
Sorry, don't quote me on that one. Let's not clip that one.
Oh yes, I didn't even get the joke. So I didn't even get the joke. Go ahead.
No. There was. I just thought of the first two teams, you know. But all that to say, I just hope that the next commissioner, whenever they do come into power, really just takes the time to like actively think and consider the fans for a moment. Because the most discouraging thing that I can hear a commissioner say is, you know, oh, I hear you. Oh, there's still teams. Did you hear his comments about what he said about the A's possibly leaving Oakland? He's like, oh, there is no shortage of baseball available in the Bay Area. They still got the Giants. Imagine me going to Chicago White Sox fans right now and saying, oh yeah, the White Sox, we're gonna move them to Nashville, right? But hey, you still got the Cubs. You'll start a fucking war in that.
Yeah, you will.
You will start a war in that city. That's crazy to me that you as a commissioner think that that's a legitimate rebuttal for people fighting back against you trying to move moving the franchise when there's really no business for them to move out of Oakland to begin with.
Yeah. I agree with that, man. One last MLB nugget, man. We talked about, you just brought up Chicago White Sox. Gonna bring up Tim Anderson, man. Tim Anderson, who was released by the White Sox a couple months ago. We haven't heard anything on the free agent front, which we haven't really heard anything. Period. I feel like once the Shohei Ohtani signing happened, we didn't hear anything else about any hot stove news. They've been slowly trickling out the last couple of days, but we are starting hearing that the Miami Marlins are interested in Tim Anderson playing, man. I think I'm rooting for TA. I'm rooting for TA to go to a new spot and become the player that we know that he not continue to be the player that we know he can be at this height. He had to do a little bit more, obviously, to get to that level. But I do think that on the field, I think it's a great match for him. Off the field, don't know. If you already having baby mama trouble, I don't think Miami, Florida is a place you want to go. But I think on the field, this is a real nice match for him. Dante, we've been talking about for weeks, like we haven't heard anything about Tim Anderson. What do you think about this potential link up? Do you think it's a good match for Tim Anderson and for the Marlins?
I think it's a great fit. I think in terms of all of the, free agency really dragging this week, as we head into spring training, rosters are going to open up. So you'll see more guys start to sign and get going. One thing that Manfred did speak about, which I think the Players Association will never go for this.
Don't say it. Don't say it. I know exactly what you're thinking. Don't say it.
He's talking about putting in a free agency period the same way other leagues do it. And so from an excitement standpoint, it would be dope because we know how we get hyped about NFL free agency, basketball free agency, but the Players Association will never go for that. But I think this is a great fit for Tim Anderson. I think you still, Jake Berger's down there, so you have one of his former teammates, so he won't be just being dumped completely into a unfamiliar space. But I think more than anything, that's a team that's they've really, adapted to the modern game. They're really on analytics. They take their guys, they show them what they're doing well, what they're failing at, and they try to get them better. So I think that change the scenery. I would have loved to see, him and Jazz in the center of the infield, but that won't happen. But I think Miami could be a great place where Tim could really, really, you trying to be funny. Tim could really, really rejuvenate his career.
I'll say this, and shout out to Mikey, even though he's not on, he's giving us breaking news in the chat. Jerry Reinsdorf, which the things I have to say about this man, as a Christian man, I should not be saying, so I'm going to continue to move on. Jerry Reinsdorf and the Chicago White Sox are seeking $1 billion in funding from the state of Illinois to build a new stadium, according to a report from Crane Chicago Business. So after reading that, yes, you heard it right, Courtney, $1 billion. And also, before I get to you, Dante, I just want to say this, and we're going to talk about the Arlington news and the local hour. If it comes to one space with niggas getting that 78 area, it's going to be the fucking Bears. It's not going to be the Chicago White Sox. Yeah.
And that's the reason he asked. That's the reason he asked for the $1 billion subsidiary, because he wants to block the Bears from getting that money. Because the way he just sent it,
Jerry Reinsdorf, you will burn in hell right next to Bud Selig, dude.
Because the way it's set up, the league, the city can only basically build one stadium at a time. So
exactly.
They can earmark that money for one team. It can't be both.
And this
so
is
Jerry trying to rush this shit.
Here's the actual quote. The White Sox could keep preventing the Bears from receiving the ISFA funding for their own stadium plans along the city's lakefront. According to the report, which said the two teams essentially competing, which will come other for the potential for sale of funding. Like you just said, Dante. But if it comes to choose between the two, where do you think the state is going to go?
And he knows that. So he knew this was his one last Hail Mary to like, yo, let me try to get this shit off real quick before the Bears come knocking and say, you know what, we're going to stay in the city. Because think about, we talk about all this revenue and stuff. Do you want, a new Major League Baseball stadium or a new NFL stadium that's going to guarantee you a Super Bowl? Every major event in the United States of America will be coming to the center of downtown Chicago. Which one would you want? Like, they're going to keep the White Sox on the south side and their ass will be in Nashville. Like, because that's not happening.
Yeah, that shit is absolutely not happening. If it comes between the two, it's gonna be it. Now, shout out to David Botello in the chat. I don't know if this is a serious question or not. He said, "Did I miss y'all thoughts on Mike Moustakas signing to the Chicago White Sox?" Well, for those fans, I feel bad for them because Chris Getz is trying to make a worse version of the championship Kansas City Royals. So for those fans out there, I feel bad for them.
Hey, you know what's gonna come next? They're gonna trade Lewis Robert. They're gonna sign Michael Taylor. They're gonna
nigga.
We're gonna go all the way to Kansas City. Fuck it, you know.
I can see that a mile away.
Yeah, 100%.
Courtney, what do you think about the White Sox Stadium thing, but more the first one, the Tim Anderson and the Marlins thing? Do you think that makes sense?
Oh, well, first off, I'm going to touch on the White Sox Stadium thing. I don't want to hear anything about I don't want to hear a single freaking peep about a new stadium until that team until Jerry Reinsdorf learns how to build a successful team. Okay, because there was like a slight, tiny little sliver of a window, like. What was that, 2018? Nah, that's kind of a lie. Maybe a little bit of a stretch. 2021, I don't know. They were never really
there. It was 2020 in the pandemic season, 2021. After that,
they were never really there, right? So you have gotten worse progressively since then, but you want money to build a stadium as if that's what's keeping you and inhibiting you from building and fielding a successful team. Crazy. I don't want to hear about it again. I will become the Bears' #1 fan before I sit there and let that man have. I will put on the fucking Mike Ditka sweater vest, okay? I will be there in a stash before I let Jerry Reinsdorf get a new fucking stadium. I refuse.
And that's how the state of Illinois feels as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page. But no, as far as Tim Anderson in Miami, I'm with Dante. I think it's actually a great fit for his career. The home life stuff, Godspeed. But no, it's a great fit. That's a quietly nice little lineup that they got down there in Miami now. I really wish that they would have been able to keep Jorge Soler, but like Dante said, they got Jake Berger, they got Josh Bell, John Birdie, is quietly nice. Jazz Chisholm down there too. Listen, it's a quietly nice payroll. And now that Kim Ng is gone and they got Peter Bendix in there, listen, that man has done wonders with lower payrolls and getting them into good October baseball. They could be an interesting team. Will they be a good team? No. An interesting team for sure. Good for TA.
Definitely good for TA. I'm rooting for TA, man. On the side, I don't know if y'all saw the ESPN alert. My man Vince Carter was elected as a finalist for the Basketball Hall of Fame.
I'm reading that now.
Yeah, well, I thought when Pappy gets up there on Monday, fuck you, Pappy. Vince Carter going to Hall of Fame, nigga. Wait,
who doesn't like Vince Carter?
Pappy don't have a problem with Vince Carter, but if he acts like Vince Carter, we're nice.
Vince Carter erasure is crazy.
I love Vince Carter, bro.
But finalists include Simone Augustus from the WNBA, Chauncey Billups, Michael Cooper from the LA Lakers, Phoenix Suns all-time leading scorer, and watched a very interesting small documentary on the 1986-87 Phoenix Suns and how Walter Davis was involved with possibly like drug trafficking, like him, James Edwards, who was with Detroit, and others, but he is one of the finalists. Bo Ryan, who's the former coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, Doug Collins as a contributor, Herb Simon, Indiana Pacers owner, and Jerry West, who's already in as a player, all are finalists as contributors.
My good friend, Jerry West.
Also, I would like to take a moment. Amber Rose has responded via Instagram. She says, and I quote, "We literally don't know each other and only met yesterday at that celebrity softball game. The sprinter left me and he was nice enough to give me a ride to my hotel. Thanks again." And she tagged CJ Stroud.
So it's a nice little press release.
Okay, CJ Stroud does seem like somebody that is nice enough to do that, but I still don't believe it. He fucked.
I don't buy it whatsoever. Yeah,
I don't buy it whatsoever.
It sounds good. I don't buy it.
Sounds good.
It sounds good. But
I too have dropped women off
in a press release
their destination. I too have done that.
Tune in for some receptions next week.
They left you? Oh, okay.
You need a ride?
You need a ride?
I'm going the same way. Saying that you're a fake nice guy?
The same way.
You say what?
Are you implying that you're a fake nice guy, Bang?
No, I'm a very nice guy. That's the point.
With ulterior motives? I'm a very
no ulterior motives. If we grown, that's the ulterior motive. We're adults. I gotta trick you in anything.
Bang is a changed man, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
very changed man, but
He is an upstanding individual. But before we spend the last 10 minutes of this show as we transition into the local hour, I'm gonna let Courtney bounce so she doesn't hear us talking about Kevin Warren and Justin Fields in about 2 minutes. So Courtney, let them know what they get in tune with you and what you might have in store for us next week.
Yeah.
For
Y'all can follow me at 1-800-CALLABRO on X and Instagram. On Monday, I really want to talk about, just really kind of looking ahead what teams are going to look like. I know spring training is here, but we don't really have a full picture of what teams are going to look like. And I kind of want to start getting in a little bit of the nitty gritty, division by division. So we'll probably start with one division throughout the leagues and kind of take it from there.
Definitely, Courtney. Definitely looking forward to hearing that on Monday for the Hot Corner with Courtney Collarbro. Y'all can follow her 1-800-Collarbro. So enjoy your weekend, G.
I absolutely will. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. So as we get you guys ready for the local hour here on this show, we are going to bring up some things that happened this week. It was a press conference that happened. Mr. Press Conference himself, Mr. Bunk Suit. Kevin Warren spoke to it wasn't even a press conference. He said, so we finally calling the X now. Courtney called the X. It is Twitter to us forever. I don't care what Elon says, it is Twitter forever. But this actually was not a press conference. Shout out our guy, Jared Payton. JP had a great interview with Kevin Warren. If you haven't watched that, go check it out with WGN. And he said some interesting things here that I want to go over real quick. I'm going to give you actual quotes. As we all know, JP is team Justin Fields, as he said multiple times. So he asked him about Justin Fields. Kevin Warren said this: I am a supporter of Justin because I got a chance to work with him when I was commissioner of the Big Ten Conference. He said he is incredibly talented, he is smart, he works hard, and he wants to be a great NFL football player. And now he just needs to make sure he has the support around him. Key words here, ladies and gentlemen. As Bang likes to always say, is what Adam John said last week. You need to pay attention to the words that the Bears say. He said Justin has a rare combination of intelligence, of size, of strength, and speed. You forget how big of a man he is, pause, until you're up on him. Pause again. He's not a small man. I just think every year he's going to be continuously better. He said one of the things about Ryan and I's work relationship, he says, the fact that we're in this together. I know he's spending every single day thinking about not only that decision with Justin Fields, but also who to draft at the 9th pick in our current roster and what we're going to do in free agency, what we're doing from a contract negotiation standpoint. I'm sure he's already starting to play out the draft in his mind. He said, I look forward to going to the combine here later this month and then getting a chance to spend some time together because we're in a very, very unique space in time. He also brought up getting draft capital, as he brought up the amount of picks that the Bears got last year in the CJ, not the CJ Stroud, but the Bryce Young deal. So I'm gonna go to you, Bang, first. What do you take, if anything, from the things that Kevin Warren said? Do you think that the door has been slightly open for Justin to come back, or is this just him doing his regular TED Talk speak that we know him to do in his year that he's been with the team?
Oh, this is definitely TED Talk speak. Like, this is the situation. You say, come in? Okay. So this is definitely TED Talk speak, man. This is basically him just basically throwing out a whole bunch of words in order for him to let everybody know that everything is on the table, but they still going with Caleb. He's helping out his GM and his football staff and putting that speak out there. But yeah, look, I love Justin. I want Justin here, but the shit just ain't gonna happen. So he's just preparing everybody for the inevitable. I think it was more interesting words around the stadium and the search for new land for the stadium, whether it's going to be that south parking lot or whatever. I think those was the more interesting things. He has a personal relationship with Justin. I don't think he really truly wants to move on from Justin, but I think in their eyes, I'm just saying in their eyes that they feel like it is the best decision. But I think I will say this. to give since mustard seed seems like is
content is king.
Right, content is king, and a mustard seed of hope, ladies and gentlemen. We have to stop forgetting that free agency is first and the draft is second. So if the Bears is successful at getting a top flight wide receiver, whether it's Mike Evans, whether it's T. Higgins, maybe Calvin Ridley to pair alongside DJ Moore, and let's say, for instance, a Brian Burns who has a relationship with the new Bears defensive coordinator with his time in Carolina, or a Daniil Hunter who is, a lot of people are pegging him to be slotted into the other side of Montez Sweat already. They say that the Bears are the favorite. Let's say, for instance, they get a top flight wide receiver and they get Daniil Hunter or Brian Burns and possibly even somebody on the interior. That takes care of a lot of holes before you get to the draft. So maybe that makes it a bit more interesting to posing them to go to the highest bidder and get some more pieces. And you think with the wide receiver room the way it could possibly look, then it's okay, we could go ahead and do that. But as my son is doing right now, he's doing this right here. That shit's not gonna happen. It's wishful thinking. He's just basically filling up a lot of stuff.
I just want to say this. I know, as we said earlier in the show about the Lakers, if you have delusion, you have hope. So if you believe in your heart, there's a lot of Bears fans out there who love Justin Fields. I am one of them, but I also moved on because I know what's really going to happen. I understand you want to take something from this, but in the one short year that I've been around and covered this team with Kevin Warren being the president, he's a slick talker. He does the TED talk. He does the CEO talk. No part of me believes that this means Justin Fields is coming back. You're not going to go up there and say, yeah, this nigga is an asshole and he's not a good player. You're going to try to boost him up as much as possible because you want to get the best trade value. It's no coincidence that we keep hearing the Steelers getting brought up. We didn't heard the Steelers get brought up multiple times this week from multiple reporters out there. So it just feels like that might be one of the teams involved. I don't see any situation where Justin comes back as much as we may want that to happen. And I just feel like he's doing the right thing of saying the right things and making Justin feel better. Dante, what did you take, if anything, from what Kevin Warren said? And we'll get to his comments about the actual stadium in the local hour, as you can see on the bottom. We'll be talking about that in the local hour. But what did you think specifically about what he said about Justin?
Nothing. It sounded good. It was cool. Something to keep the value high. But I mean, like you said, you're not gonna go out there and just flat out shit on Justin. But we all know the change is eventually coming, unless they get that Godfather deal that they just can't pass up. But I didn't take anything from it. I'm really more so like not sick of talking about it, but it's more so like I get it. I get why you got to do it. But it's like, come on, let's get to the combine. I'll just be happy when all this shit is over.
I'm with you on that, brother. But we gotta sell this up. Well, it's good. This is just starting, man. This is just starting the coverage of that. But we are getting ready to get to the local hour. As you can see, you need to subscribe to the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network right now. If you want to get the local hour, we'll be talking about all Bears. We're gonna get more in depth to the stuff we're talking about. But right now, it's time for my Goofy Mog of the Week segment that everybody likes on this show. And this one, I'm going to give the Goofy Mog of the Week, not even a serious Goofy Mog of the Week. This is just man, get the fuck out of here. Who do you think you fooling? I'm giving this to the NFL with those fucking Super Bowl numbers. Now, am I going to sit up here and act like there wasn't millions and millions of people watching Super Bowl? Of course it was. Two of the biggest, you got one of the biggest franchises in NFL history in the San Francisco 49ers. You got the best player in the game, Patrick Mahomes. Of course, a lot of people have watched that game on Sunday, but you cannot up here and say it is the most watched program ever, the biggest telecast in history, when you've got things like soccer and the World Cup that we know have done more numbers than this. We all knew there was going to be a 200 on this number when that shit got reported like a day or two after the Super Bowl. There's no part of me that didn't expect that to come. I feel what Roger Goodell's doing, and I know there was some numbers screwed to come to that conclusion of that being the most streamed, the most watched telecast of all time, but I'm not buying it. I don't believe it for 1 second. I think this is kind of like when a movie or a TV show is being promoted and you take the one positive review you had and you put it on there. Variety says the greatest TV show ever. That's essentially what the NFL is doing here. They doctored those numbers somehow to make you think it was the biggest telecast of all fucking time. That's all I got to say about that. I'm giving a goofy mark of the week to Roger Goodell NFL for that one because I'm not fucking buying it whatsoever. But that is all that we have for y'all this week on another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. As we're going to get ready to wrap this up. You know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChair Scott, man. You know where to follow the Barber's Chair Network on Twitter and Instagram. And you know where to follow, H&B Media. You can follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can visit their website, pillarsclub.co, and you can get everything you need on there. All the clothes that you need is all up on that website, man. So that is all I got for y'all right now. For me, for Bang, for Dante, we gonna holler, and for Courtney, we gonna holler at y'all on Monday for a new edition of this show. Mike, you'll be all out next week. Pat will be back on Monday to do weekend in association, man. So we gonna holler at y'all. We up out of here.